Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Muhammad Adri bin Rajman 16B1036. Today I will be presenting on chapter 8 on the topic of perception. So before I move on with the questions, let us define what is perception. According to Kenyon and Sen 2015, perception is the process of converting sensory input into an understanding of how the world works. The process involves combining multitudes of different sensory inputs, and the overall result is complex to analyze. For example, in the case of theme parks, people often judge based on the ambience and physical environment of the area. However, there are other factors which may influence people's perception of the theme park, such as memory and etc. How is perception formed? Perception formed through a process of analysis whereby the outside world is filtered and only the most relevant or interesting information for the individual come through. The absorbed information are combined and interpreted, then included with memory and imagination to create an overall perception. So, moving on to the first question. What is your perception of Disneyland Theme Park? Explain two possible factors that could have influenced your perception of the park. My perception on Disneyland is that it is a cheerful, friendly, enchanting, and overall a happy place. Two factors that could have influenced my perception on Disneyland is my past experience and the visual appearance of the park itself. Past experience. For me, this is the biggest of all factors that weigh into my perception. If someone has experienced firsthand the quality of a brand, product or service, or in this case Disney, it will positively or negatively impact their perception. Past experience leads us to interpret later experience in the light of what we already know. This is called the law of primacy, or in simpler words, it basically says that first experiences affect the interpretation of later experiences. For example, we may associate or perceive the Disneyland theme park as a cheerful place. This is because we have experienced the liveliness of Disney characters during most of our happier childhood moments. However, some might have negative perception of Disneyland theme park depending on their memories of Disney during their younger moments. Another factor that has strongly influenced my perception on Disneyland theme park is the visual appearance of the place itself, whereby the use of fairy tale and fantasy such as castles to create an enchanting experience or imagination. To further reinforce visitors' positive perception of the place, they use multitudes of bright colors in order for customers to associate the place with cheerfulness. Very rarely dull or shades of grey being implemented in their theme park or even in their marketing, as this will create a feeling of dullness and boringness. Moving on to question 3. How does Disneyland theme park can be sure that they could help its customers form the right perceptions about the park? Describe two possible factors or ways. Before we answer this question, we need to know that there are 6 components of perceptions, which are stimulus, which is the object that is being perceived, the input selector, which is the mechanism in which the individual selects cues from the stimulus and assigns meaning to each one, the processing center, which is tasked of integrating the cues to generate an overall perception, which is also likely to be influenced by the consumer's current state, which includes factors such as mood, motivation, goals, and physical state of the individual at the time the cues come along. And then there is consumer stable characteristics, and lastly, response. However, in my opinion, the most important component that can be controlled by marketer is the stimulus, whereby the use of marketing campaigns or exceptional performance to trigger the positive cues. So, the two factors which I think could help Disneyland theme park to help its customers form the right perception about the park is the consistency of their performance and the way they communicate their marketing. Consistency of performance. As mentioned earlier, Personal experience is of crucial importance in order to create a positive perception. Hence, Disneyland Theme Park should keep up with the consistency of their performance, which also should align with their brand promise of providing high-quality, fun entertainment and experiences which are suitable for family. Mistakes that occurred should also be rectified as soon as possible. By achieving consistent positive performance, it shows that the theme park's management or the brand itself care about the visitors' well-being, and hence visitors are more likely to perceive the theme park positively during their future visits. Marketing communication. Before they do their marketing, they need to know who their audience are and design their marketing strategy in a way that caters to their audience. The marketing campaigns of Disneyland should constantly deliver messages that express positive outcomes in order to create good moods, as processing center for perception can be influenced by factors such as mood. Good marketing communication can also be achieved through the use of social channels effectively. Although social media can create an open forum for customer complaints, which can seemingly hijack their good name, but it is possible to take negative comments and demonstrate positive outcomes, such as by responding quickly with knowledge and compassion. Lastly, do not deliver false promises in the marketing communication. False promises may lead customers to expect more. If the expectations of a customer is not met, this may lead to his or her dissatisfaction, which may influence his or her perception of the theme park negatively in the near future. So, in conclusion, the right perception of Disneyland Theme Park is formed based on how the brand delivers itself to its consumers. They manage to deliver the desired perception through innovation and knowing and delivering their promises to their customers. That will be all from me. Thank you for listening.